How much did the whole process cost you guys?
In Kenya shillings, we spend over 1.6.
Yeah. 1.6 million.
1.6 million Kenya shillings.
Guys, welcome back to Mambo channel. I'm Hanito.
And I'm Vinny.
Today, we are going to do a breakdown for the financial cost of green card lottery after you win.
Yes, this is just a simple breakdown of the cost involved when you win. So we'll give you not the actual up to the cent. Some of those we don't have the receipts, but we'll break down the cost and I will try and give you the most accurate cost involved in this process. After you win, what next?
What next? So before that, there is getting a good conduct and doing examination evaluation for your KCSE, so that they can determine that your certificate is original. So the examination council are the ones to send those details to the embassy.
Yes, you have to verify your education, and the exam that is verified is a KCSE, so that's a cost. But now to make it clear, DV, it's free. When at the point of application, it's free. You don't pay any money. In a cost that may come is when you want to take a picture. If you want to have a professional picture done, depends with the photo studio that you go to or the cyber. They charge either from 200 to 500. So that's a cost that varies depending on where you want to take your picture. But other than that, application is free. At that point, there's no money you're spending. Don't be charged to somebody will play for you or something. So at that point, it's free. So once you win, now even sending in the DS260 or sending in your application that you now want to be a participant, it's also free. The cost comes when you receive the 2NL. At that point is when now you start to spend. And we'll break down the figures. So one, you'll have to get a good conduct. A good conduct has to be current. The embassy, they take even 2-year-old. So for the good conduct, you spend 1,000 to get the good conduct. The other thing,
you get the good conduct at Huduma Center.
Yeah, Huduma Center or the DCI offices. Yeah, so that's 1,000. That's for the government. Then you wait for the good conduct to get it. Then you have to verify your exam. The KCSE, it's 2,800.
Yeah, around that, or let's give it a maximum of 3,000.
3,000, yeah.
And the principal applicant, it's for the only principal applicant, not for the two of you if you're married. It's only one person whose KCSE certificate is verified.
Yeah, that's a good point. For the exam verification, it's only for the principal, but for the good conduct is anybody who's above 16 years.
Yeah.
You have to get a good conduct. So if you're married, both of you need a good conduct. If you have a child who's more than 16 years, they'll also need a good conduct. If you have traveled outside your country and stayed for more than 6 months, you'll also need a good conduct for that country that you had been to. So any country you have been and stayed more than 6 months, which is not the US, you'll need a good conduct for that country. So that cost will vary depending with how traveled you are.
Yeah, and for those who are watching and are not from Kenya, I would say maybe good conduct in other countries, it's either
police clearance.
Yeah, police clearance, or is it criminal record?
Yeah, criminal record.
Or fingerprint.
Yeah.
Or checking your fingerprints. Yeah.
Yes. So your embassy will tell you which document they require or how they refer to that document or how they call it.
Yeah.
But we'll go with us. It's called good conduct or police clearance.
Yeah. So another cost that we spent on was the medical.
Yes.
Yeah, it was around 231,000 Kenya shilling. We were a family of 5, and it also determines how many injections each person will get. Because for us both, we got 5 injections. 2 of our kids got
7.
6, and one of them got 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what determines the amount of money you're going to pay for each person.
Yes. So for the whole process, it was
31,000 Kenya shilling. And another thing I can say about medical, when you go to medical, if you have any chronic disease, you don't disclose that. That is private. So the only major thing that can make you not to come to the US after winning your green card, it's the TB.
Yeah, TB is the main thing.
Yeah.
If you have any other diseases, you're advised not to tell, because if you disclose that, they write in the report, and maybe that will be used against you.
Yeah.
But if you don't disclose anything, then and they don't find anything, they don't find TB, then you're good to go.
You're good to go. Yeah.
So after medical, then you go to the embassy.
Yeah.
The embassy, you have to pay before you do your interview.
Yeah, you have to pay before you do your interview. They give you a piece of paper where there are some things written there.
The
Telling,
instructions.
Yeah, the
and,
instruction.
like a buyer be aware.
Yeah.
You sign here, once you pay,
no refund.
it's not refundable. If you don't succeed, you won't get your money back.
Yeah.
And you don't just pay for the principal, you pay for everyone who's attending the interview.
Yep.
So in US dollars, that fee is $330.
Yeah.
So at the point when we were going for the interview, the dollar was exchanging at 145. So per person was 47. 850 per person. So for the 5 of us, it was 239, 250.
Yeah.
Yes. So we paid 239,000 even before we knew
Yeah, before you knew you were going to be
we are
told.
going to get the green card, or if we are not going to be successful. So we had faith that, okay, let's give out this amount, then I will be well.
Yeah. So at the embassy, you are advised to pay for the immigration fee before you travel. That will make you, when you get here, you have your green card is already
processed. It's just mailing it to your address. You confirm the address where you're going, then they'll mail it to you. It arrives between 10 days to 2 weeks. Yeah. It's also optional. You can choose not to pay before you travel, and you come and process it here. But that's a process that takes a longer period, and it can take from either 2 months to 3 months, depending on the state you are and how detailed the process is. They'll require you to go to do biometrics, do your fingerprints, and send the documents to them. Some will require you to go to the offices in person. So depending on the state that you are in, the process may be longer, or it's not less than 2 months. But if you apply before you fly, the biometrics that you used at the embassy and the documentation you used at your interview, that file you come with, the document, the folder that you come with, they use that information. It's just activate printing. So you get your green card and your social security.
Yeah.
Now that cost is $220 per person.
Yeah.
So for a family of 5, that came to 1,100 USD. At the time we spent, we paid via card and our bank card. The exchange was
149.
149.
Yeah, and so we paid 32,780
Per
per
person.
person. So
Yeah.
the whole amount was 163,900.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's for the green card.
that's for the immigration fee for the
Yeah.
green card. The green card comes you being a permanent resident. So it even speeds you up when you are trying to get a job or to find a job here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Most people ask you are you a permanent resident at the United States. If they ask you that, there's a number that you have to give them to determine you are permanent resident.
Yes, but even you don't have that amount, also it's the visa that is stamped on your passport tells you that is a valid green card for a period of 1 year.
Yeah.
So you can still come over and use the visa. It's denoted down there. It's a permanent resident valid for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 1 year to work around, get employed or find a job, get funds, and then apply for the green card for the permanent resident now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So note that. Don't kill yourself trying to pay before you travel. You can still come over and you have a period of 1 year before now the visa expires and you need a physical permanent resident card.
Yeah. So
So far we have done the medical, we have done the
immigration fee
immigration fee,
and the embassy.
embassy, verification of KCSE or the education verification.
Yeah.
Now the biggest and the
Yeah, the biggest amount.
expenditure
Yeah,
is the flight.
the flight. I think also it determined with the season when you're paying your flight. I'm not sure about that.
Yes. The flight, when you want to travel, if your travel date is far out, maybe a month or 2 months out, you can get a cheap flight. That being because the flight is not fully booked or not so many people have booked that ticket, so it will be cheaper for you. But if you're traveling within a week or a few days, then the ticket is expensive.
Yeah.
So also the season, there's a peak season for flying. If you're coming to America, the peak season is from May to August. That is the summer season.
Mm-hmm.
So, and most of the weddings are done there, graduation, people are coming to enjoy summer. So that's a peak season. So it's expensive more than the winter season. That is January, Feb. Even the holiday season is also expensive. So depending on the time you're traveling and how soon you want to travel,
Yeah.
your flight cost changes. Even the airline that you use also changes. If you don't mind having so many stopovers and layovers and taking so many hours to get to your destination, you'll get a cheaper flight than somebody who takes a direct flight.
Yeah.
So all those factors, the flight depends with your choice of airline or how fast you want to travel.
Yes. Yeah, especially if you're a big family.
Yes, for us, we chose to not to have so many stopovers because we had kids, and we didn't want to have so many stopovers, all the challenges with the children and the jet lag.
Yeah.
So we chose to have one stopover.
Yeah.
We took a direct flight from Nairobi to Heathrow, then Heathrow to Phoenix, which was our entry point and our destination. So that also is a cost by itself to factor in. Because the flights that were also going either you can go to Dubai, you go to Europe, then to America, or it goes to Ethiopia, Amsterdam, then America, New York, then your final destination. All those are options that you can choose. And so our flight cost was 140, 43
500
per person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get a discount on the kids. There were flights that were offering discounts, but they were not favorable to us. So ours was flat rate per seat.
Yeah, per seat.
Yes, so
that was a total of 717,500.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's a big figure. 700 and
17,500.
so and what else?
Yeah. So that was it. But we also had some things like we had to take a passport for our 2-year-old. She
Yeah.
didn't have one. We also, when we went to the embassy, our son's birth certificate had an issue, so we had to rush. We were in a rush of getting this paperwork done. So I'd advise you guys, when you're ready to go through the process, make sure that all your documents are ready. Don't wait until it's too late. It's a challenge because you have to pay more for them to be processed within few days.
Yes, and also there are costs involved going to the medical.
Yeah,
and also going to the embassy. Those are cost, transportation cost.
That for us, you are waking up at 5.
4.
Oh yeah, 4 to be at the embassy around 6.
Yeah.
So we had to hire a car for that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and also when you're there, once you're done, you have to have your meals. You have to have take care of the kids, and also another cost that we incurred was doing shopping for traveling.
Yeah.
We bought bags. We bought a few things and clothes.
Yeah, the
for the
spices
kids.
that these people back here are saying, oh, bring me some roiko, some tea leaves. Yeah, so, and it's good, like, that makes them feel at home, because once you're like, oh, I don't know the last time I had tea or the spices back at home, especially the pilau masala. Yeah, and tea masala also. It's hard to get them here.
Yes. So yeah, let's say the miscellaneous, give it a modest figure of like 50,000. So that takes care of applying for the passport for the kids. We had to expedite. It's an expensive. Over and above the government fee, we had to expedite it. And also, yeah, let's call that miscellaneous. All those other costs, 50,000. Then I knew when we reach here, we'll need money to get this documentation, go for the ID, have money to take care of yourself for the first month or two before you're able to get a job. So we had, let's call it pocket money, of 200,000. So that is what we used for the first month when we got here. So we had to, at least you can move to these government offices and get your IDs, or register to get a certification for something.
Yeah.
Or
SIM card,
yes,
fingerprint.
Yeah, the SIM card, the phone.
Yeah. And the phone here is also major.
Yeah, so that's not enough, but at least we knew we won't get stuck. Instead of telling the host or somebody, give us money to do this, we need to do this. Before you get your first paycheck, at least you're able to do the preliminaries for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's advisable you have at least a small pocket money that will keep you going, because you can get a job, but you first you don't have a car, and you have to use the Uber.
Yeah.
So all these small costs. Now you are dealing with dollars. So it's more expensive
more
on this side than back at home. But at least that 200 was to caution us before we were able now to get ourselves started. And yeah, it went pretty quick. But it was good. Even on your way, in your layover, or when you're waiting there, somebody can say, we want to have a snack or have a meal. If you have a long layover, that's the amount that you use. And yeah, that was for us, like the insurance or the amount that we had to that was left, actually, not the one that we applied. That was all that was left.
Yeah. So
yeah, so if we can summarize that and give a figure, it came to 1.6, and this, to me, what do you say? It's worth the investment. It's not a small amount. If you believe and you have a conviction that you want to come to America, once you get that visa, you can, if you don't have the money, if you don't have assets, you can even now talk to friends and even people over this side and tell them, now I have this visa. If I come over, now loan me this amount. We have an agreement within 6 months or within that certain period of time. I'll be able to get myself set up and pay you back your money. So don't fear, don't see the figures as they're big figures. You'll have a workaround. Yeah, so just believe and work towards getting your dream.
Yeah.
So if you have a big family, you can decide, let the principal come over. You have 6 months when your visa is still valid. Somebody can come over within 3, 4, 5 months. They have been able to work and gotten some finances here and here, and then they can pay for the rest of the family to come over. So there are so many options to go around it, but for a single person, and on average, it varies from 250 to 400. So bank on that. So if you have multiple in your family, now multiply that by the number of people in your family. But for a single person, it ranges from 250 to 400.
Yeah. Coming to America is getting greater opportunities for you as a family, and for the kids. You get greater opportunities here. The schools are good, and you get exposed to many great things.
Yeah. So it's about investment. That amount, if you are dedicated and you are, let's say, a hustler, you'll be able to recover that amount very soon and bounce back. So don't see the figure up front and say that's a lot of investment. Within 2 or 3 months, you'll be able to have recovered that, and from there, you can say that was your seed capital, and build it from there.
Yeah.
So that's on the cost. If there is any issue or you need a breakdown on anything that we have missed, yeah, you can just comment, reply down there. If you need to redo or
to answer any of your questions,
yeah, we will reply, and hope this information is helpful to you guys, and it will encourage somebody and know that these are the costs that will be incurred. Work towards that. Those that have not yet applied, it's ending soon, so go apply. You have time before it's announced to go check. You can be able to work and save on this amount. Once you get the you have been selected, you're good to go.
Yeah. So that's it from us, guys. Thank you so much to our subscribers, and if you're new here, welcome to this family.